Here we go in any event. When you would rather not go, so push ahead when you feel awkward to move forward when you are apprehensive. Here is the mental fortitude to converse with a companion of mine today on grasping the contrast between two things. From one perspective, the trepidation that comes when we are stepping up, very much like most of us. I felt the nerves before a major occasion or significant life change, things like that. And afterward, then again, the feelings that emerge when we begin to feel that something isn't really great for us. Comparative distress yet? Not exactly similar. We feel anxious or awkward on the grounds that we realize we are skewed and where we have shown up in our discussion. It was the point at which you were on the edge of that allegorical slope, and your body dismissed your beating heart. Your psyche is hustling. You are apprehensive. You are apprehensive. Is it worth posing the inquiry? It's that I'll be frustrated in myself in the event that I don't see everything through to completion. I will frustrate myself here by returning. You need to bounce into the future and envision the future where you are. Finding a seat at the table, pondering this in the event that you see yourself remorseful and wish you had continued on. It's anything but an issue of arrangement. It's an issue of fortitude also. When you consider it, it generally appears glaringly evident thinking back. As I can without much of a stretch perceive looking back, the things I quit doing on the grounds that they didn't line up with who I needed to be, the point at which I quit doing some unacceptable thing, feels like a much-needed refresher, similar to a stage back to jump. Come on, those choices make a really satisfying life. However, those times, I halted as a result of you. I realize I let the second expanded than my ultimate objective. Those times I surrendered and chose not to. I just need to address the cost in view of the brief burden. I recall those two, which is an alternate inclination, generally speaking, not entirely ideal inclination. Obviously, Jim Rohn says it like this: there is the aggravation of discipline or the aggravation of disappointment. Pick your aggravation. Something that makes life troublesome is that we must be available to a specific degree of uneasiness in our lives. This is exactly being human now. That we can pick our powers where we let that agony in, and how it implies what it will help. Use will be the sort of torment that develops use, or the sort of aggravation that helps us to remember what might have been music. I truly believe that more often than not we stop not on the grounds that the way was off base for us, but since, incidentally, we failed to remember that the vast majority of the best encounters and conditions throughout everyday life and valuable open doors come at an excessive cost and request a great deal from us. And in those minutes when the lights sparkle more brilliant, when we feel the heaviness of the world falling on us, it's not difficult to misdiagnose that uneasiness as a stop sign. It resembles goodness. I feel alone. I feel unreliable. I have no approval. My pride harms. My certainty is shaken. Anything that it is, you realize these things similarly as expressing them without holding back. Currently sounds horrible, when actually they're simply the expense of affirmation. It's like I shouldn't be aware in practically no time. Yet, attempt to tell it as you are meandering around, feeling just tension. It's something else entirely. It's a test yet. Here's the uplifting news. It's a test that you are equipped for. Overseeing and surviving life is tied in with getting into things we don't feel prepared for, and afterward, learning again and again that we can pool information en route advises us that dread will show itself, paying little heed to what we do throughout everyday life, yet to develop and turn into individuals